What's up, YouTube? Day 2 or 3 of shelter in place here in San Francisco. As you can tell, it's a bit dreary here, both figuratively and literally, as everyone's kind of locked up at home. I'm actually headed to the grocery store real quick to pick up a couple of things for dinner tonight. Anyway, as I had mentioned in the previous video, about 2 weeks ago, I started going back full-time to playing daily since Benjamin started daycare. Now with the city on shutdown, things have changed dramatically, but I started recording my daily sessions, and so what I wanted to do was create a daily vlog of those. So we're going to jump into those. If I run out of those videos before we actually get back to playing, which seems quite likely, I have a ton of videos over the last year that I recorded and never got to putting out, so I'll be doing that as well. The hope is to kind of rebuild the channel, put out a ton of content. It's going to mostly just be hand history, so let me know what you guys think of that. That's all for now. What's up, YouTube? Here in downtown San Francisco. Just dropped my wife off at work and picked up some Blue Hawaii Kona qualifier. This thing is amazing. If you're ever near a Blue Hawaii, I believe they have one or two in Hawaii, but they do have one here in downtown, and this Kona qualifier is like the best smoothie I've ever had in my life. So today is the beginning of quite a big transition. Just dropped Benjamin off at daycare for the first time. He is about 19 months old. Charlie is now full-time also at preschool. He'll be starting kindergarten in, I think, like 5 months, something like that, at which point Benjamin will be transitioning to Charlie's preschool. And so yeah, onto the daytime grind now. It's either gonna be that or playing at night and then sleeping during the day. I'm sure it'll be a mix of the two depending on how late I play. But basically now I have a lot more free time to myself, which means a lot more poker, which hopefully will mean a lot more poker vlogs. I'm going to attempt to create a daily vlog of every day that I play, and the plan is to be playing every day. So like I said before, I think I'm going to be just putting out vlogs without full hand history graphics. Hopefully you guys can appreciate that, but it's going to be much more of a story. It's going to be the day-to-day story of what it's like, grinding out on these streets. So I'm not actually sure if I'm going to play today because I have a couple of business things that I need to handle before getting to the casino. My mom leaves tomorrow morning, but I think either tonight or tomorrow we'll be on that full-time grind. So I hope you guys enjoy this full story. There'll probably be characters, people I won't have to give nicknames to, because I'm sure a lot of these people are going to be watching the vlog to get an idea of what's going on. But I think that'll make the whole thing a lot more fun. All right, guys, I'll catch you at the casino. All right, day 1 complete of the Benjamin off to school or preschool and daycare. I'm so tired. And Charlie being in preschool, and it was a swingy one. There were, I think, like 3 particularly interesting hands. So let's quickly go over those. The first one, at this point, I think I'm stuck like 500. There's a guy who is just kind of playing like a maniac. Doing a lot of weird stuff, opening just small with lots of goofy hands like queen 5 offsuit, flopping a pair, holding on, being good, sucking out on a bunch of people. He builds up a stack up to, I think he bought in for like 500. He didn't buy in for much, and he runs it up probably up to like 3K plus. So he's doing all sorts of interesting stuff. In this hand, he is the straddle. There are 2 limps. I pick up 10-9 offsuit at the end of the cutoff. I make it 60 to isolate versus the limpers, and just to attack his straddle. I know he's going to be calling pretty wide. Considering that's the case, I should probably be doing it with better hands, but we're stuck and trying to get after it. So I make it 60. He calls from the straddle, and interestingly enough, he's the only caller. We go heads up to a flop, which comes 8-8-6 or 6-6-8, but I think it was 8-8-6. He checks. Obviously, it's gonna be a good flop for me because I have 2 overs and the nut cutter. If I check back here, I think it's gonna be hard for me to win. It's gonna look a lot like I have, ace high, king high, queen high, or something like that. And I'm not going to really be able to win this pot if he leaves a turn. So, the consideration being, if I have ace high, I can actually call down versus a lot, but now that I have 10 high, I don't have any showdown equity, so I need to start bluffing. So I bet 105, and he check raises to 300. Like I mentioned, he had been doing a lot of really interesting stuff, and so obviously just not going to be full with the nut gut shot. I think the 7's good. I think the 10 and the 9 are probably good. I think he's just like super wide here. And I plan on attacking if he decides to slow it down. Given this player profile, that's probably being pretty hopeful, because if this guy is going to start bluffing, chances are he's not going to stop. So I call the 300. The turn is an offsuit 3, changing absolutely nothing, and now he bets 370. I look at my stack, I look at the 370 that I have, and jam would be about 550 more. And I really want to do it. I just feel like he's getting super out of line. The speed at which he does it, and like the strength at which he does it, feels like he's trying to be like, I'm strong. And like I said, usually that means weak. So I kind of just get this feeling that he's just super out of line here. Hell, I might even have the best hand if he has something like 9-7, 10-7. So yeah. But anyway, after some thought, I feel like the 550 is just not enough. I think if I have like 600 or 700 plus to jam, then I do it. But given the fact that it's like not even a 3x jam, I think I could get called off pretty light here. Like even if he ends up having just like one pair of 7s, hey, he might just be like, oh, whatever, call. So I like to fold, and he proudly slams over the king jack offsuit. And yeah. Hurts, man. I mean, obviously he had the best hand, but I'm sad that I didn't pull the trigger. I felt like jamming the turn was going to work, and I just didn't have it in me. Today's the first day back. I should have went with my instincts. Obviously, if I rip it here for 550 more, he's not going to call with king high. So yeah, that one was pretty frustrating that I didn't just go with my read of just knowing that he was just way too wide here and is very likely to have just a myriad of hands. I mean, there are a number of draws, like 5-7, 9-7, and 10-7, all of which I've dominated, so I could actually get called by worse. And then there's just going to be the hands that are just complete whiffs that are losing their mind. So, yeah, a little disappointed in myself and got owned. So we lose that hand, and then shortly thereafter get drawn to be the must move, which means basically that this action game where I was putting in a lot of chips, I'm now gonna have to leave, and it looks like I'm gonna be leaving to a not so great table. So yeah, not enjoyable. Once I get moved though, it turns out that he's actually the second up to get moved once we redraw for seats. So that news is good. Once he gets moved, maybe within like 30 minutes, he's seated to my immediate right, and he just proceeds to kind of lose his mind. A little bit of it was unlucky. He got unlucky in a few spots. One where he flopped top pair and decided to check raise against just a gut shot. They called. The gut shot turned to flush draw and called again. And then the flush draw got there on the river. So he lost like a pretty big pot there. Then he flopped a 6 on an ace-6-6 board, raised the turn. Given how crazy he's been playing, the other player decided he was not going to be folding an ace and called. The river was an ace. And now the guy just open ripped like 700. And this guy with the 6, I guess, was just frustrated that the river's an ace, or I don't know what. Like, this guy just always has an ace. There was a flush draw, but I think it's just, like, the guy always has an ace. And he spike called off the 700. So pretty much just dusted it all off to every other reg in the game, which was pretty frustrating. You see the one guy that you gave chips to just give it everybody away. Not going to be enjoyable, but that's the game. It's going to happen, of course. So he ends up busting, and then our game's kind of weak for quite some time. I do have a spot where there is a limp under the gun. The next player to act makes it 40. I have ace king in like middle position. I flat because of the under the gun limper. I just think that this guy is going to be limping some like strong hands, and he might be getting out of line. He previously like jammed out of his big blind with deuce 3 offsuit or suited or something like that and showed it. So I know once he's stuck, he's got some gears to him. So I decided flat. Sure enough, once it folds to him, he rips in his like 660. The opener folds, and I do think that he's going to have a lot of pocket pairs here just because that's like what he likes to do. The pocket pairs literally being like pocket 3s, pocket 4s, just all of the hands. He likes to kind of play attorney style like this, where if he thinks he has the best hand, he's just going to jam it. But also given the fact that he's already shown that he's done it with deuce tray, I'm not going to be folding the ace king. So I call it off. Flop comes like king high with 2 spades. Turns like the 3 of spades, like king deuce 4. Turns like the 3 of spades, and he kind of goes to show his hand. So I'm like, oh god, does he have pocket 3s? River is like a 6, and he shows pocket 9s. So we won that flip, which was pretty nice. Obviously, I think I was stuck at like 1100 before this hand. Just playing too many hands, getting out of line, trying to 3-bet the action player too wide, and then having a full once he like dunked into me, and I just didn't flop any piece. So after that hand, I was maybe stuck a few hundred. And then the last interesting hand of note, there is an open in late position. The small blind calls. I call in the big blind with Jack 10 suited. We're playing 3-5-10 at this point. For most of the session, we're actually playing with a straddle. So I call, I think it was like 30 total, so I call 20 more out of the straddle with Jack 10. Flop comes Jack 10 high, like Jack 10-6, checks through. Turn is the 8 of hearts bringing in a flush draw. Now the small blind bets 80. I make it 300. I think he's going to have a lot of, pair plus draws, some turn flush draws, or just some flop draws, or even like top pairs like king jack, queen jack, ace jack. So I want to be getting value here out of the 2 pair. I make it 300. The opener folds, and he calls pretty quickly. The river is the 7 of hearts, bringing in the flush and the 4-liner. He checks, thankfully, which, because if you let this card, it's going to put me in a really tough spot. I'm happy to check it back here and hope to win. And sure enough, I do. He announces king high, so I assume he just had king queen offsuit. So I'm thankful that he didn't decide to turn his hand into a bluff. Obviously evidence of how important it is to play hands in position, because yeah, out of position, if I have if I have to check this river to him and he bets, there's really no way I can call. So after that hand, we booked a little bit of a profit. I went a few hands after that, some raise and take it's, and we booked an $18 profit. I will take it. I was stuck, like I said, over 1,100. So it's nice to battle back within like the last hour, because I think literally in the last hour I won it all back. Definitely played probably like my C game today. Just played too loose. I was frustrated. I never really had a hand. Like the whole session, I just didn't have hands. And so by the end, I tried to just get too wide with some hands that I shouldn't be. I think I 3-bet the action player with like 10-4 suited. He called with 10-7 suited. He flopped a gut shot and led into me, and I just had to fold. This is why, you should be doing it with hands that actually have equity, hands that can make top pairs, hands that flop well, because obviously when you do it with 10-4 suited, you're not going to flop much, really almost ever. So yeah, just try to force it a little too much. So I am glad, though, that we battled back. Tomorrow's another new day. Like I said, I'm going to be playing probably most days now, if not some nights for PLO. So there'll be lots of content coming. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I think it'll be really interesting here to see. You're probably going to get like a view into what it's like to be putting in, 20 sessions every single day of the month. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Catch you later. Buddy, Benjamin, what's going on? It's your first day. When was your first day? It's a little, he's sad to see me, happy to see me, I don't know, crying. But first day, thumbs up, Benjamin? Thumbs up? All right, say bye-bye, YouTube. Say bye-bye. Can you say bye-bye? Bye-bye.